Hello, I'm Jared Willits, and welcome to My Thoughts for What They're Worth, episode number 3. My message for episode number 3 is to a couple of guys, Joe and Donald. But before I get to that, let me tell you, I'm 71 years old, and as I've gotten deeper into the upper demographics, there have been realities and compromises to be made. When I was 17, I bought my very first motorcycle. I rode for decades and decades and decades. But as I got to about this age, I thought maybe I didn't need to ride anymore. My reflexes aren't nearly as good as they used to be, and the roadways are just crazy out there. More traffic and more people not paying attention. So I thought it was probably a good idea that I don't ride motorcycles anymore. I could go to the bike store today and buy one and start riding, but I won't. Where once stood a marvelous motorcycle in my garage, now stands a golf cart. Compromise, top speed 25 miles an hour. In my early 20s, I started skydiving for years and years and years and years. I don't do that anymore for the aforementioned reasons. Where once in my closet was a gear bag full of the finest skydiving gear your money can buy. Now there's a gear bag, but it only holds memories. The point is that I think when you get to a certain point, a certain age, there's some things you just really shouldn't do anymore. And that would include, yes, you guessed it, President of these United States. I don't think I'm alone in feeling that both Joe Biden and Donald Trump, they're all past their prime. They're probably too old. Presidency of the United States is the toughest job in the world, and it's not getting any easier. You really need to be in your prime to have that job, I think. Maybe it's time for another generation to start running the country. So why? Why don't they bow out? Just realize that perhaps I could move on, write a book, start a think tank, be a statesman around the country, things like that. Well, what's going on? A couple things. First, it's this cage fight, grudge match those two have. Those two people hate each other. They can't stand the thought of one remaining in the White House or one returning to the White House. They got that going on. Plus, it's their egos. Really, it's their egos. Their egos are telling them, Joe, Donald, you're the only one who can lead our nation. There is none other that can take the office, who can sit behind the resolute desk and make the big decisions that need to be made. You're the only ones. That's what their egos are telling them. And their inner circle, they're telling them the same thing. The inner circle, mostly sycophants and political leeches. Are they telling him to run because for the good of the country? No, I think they're telling them to run for the good of themselves. But that is the way it is. So perhaps I'm wasting my breath. No, I think I'm wasting my breath. I think a lot of people agree, perhaps, that maybe it is time for a new generation to take over. What do we have, 360 million people in the country? We can find a couple other people who can run the country, I would think. So it is my message to President Biden and former President Donald Trump: bow out, write a book, go to Bali, do something else. It really is time. Those are my thoughts for what they're worth. I'm Jared Willits. I invite your comments.